Hey, it's Rio, and I'm in my office, which means it's obviously into the start of the semester. And actually, this is for your week 3 attendance. So, what I'd like to do is first just, show you I am actually, sometimes I don't use the camera just because I want to focus on the screen, but it is good to connect, at least so you can see that, where I'm located at times, because I'm generally at different locations, which is kind of fun. So we are moving out of week 2, moving into week 3, as hopefully you're getting used to. I will post attendance on the Friday after, the Friday before the next week after I finish grade reviews. So the one thing I saw this week in some of your work was that some of you aren't, and if this is a conscious decision, that's cool. Some of you aren't doing replies. And I'm generally, and I will tell you, I reviewed this to make sure when I require the replies, and I generally always require them on current topics, but no, always on the hands-on stuff, because the hands-on stuff is intended to be just that. Let's have a hands-on experience, maybe with a little bit of writing, okay? Because this is a survey course. This is a course that looks at a lot of different topics. That's why we have writing related to this course. And I'd heard this conversation in the chat too, is that if you're taking something like my 93, which I've said before, there are students taking them at the same time. It is not the way we intended it to happen, but I understand why, so I'm not going to go over that again. But if you want to talk to me about that, this class will feel very different than the next one, which was 85, and if you go on to take a 93, just because those are going to focus more on the coding. But having said that, moving into week 3 for us, we're going to move from taking notes on lynda.com to actually doing a code along for the lecture this week. So I think that's it. Oh, the other thing is I'm actually going to be out of the office on Monday. So if you're not, hopefully you've seen my office hours. I have a class in the morning from 10 until 11:50, and then I have an office hour. But I'm actually going to be gone Monday. I'm heading up to Google to spend the day doing some googly things on Monday. But I do want to actually tell you about another local event, somewhat Google related as well. So let's go ahead and turn to the screen and we'll take a look at that. So Valley Dev Fest, if you have heard of Dev Fest, they've been run, I've actually helped run them for the last 5 years at Bitwise Industries. And we're one of the largest tech conferences in the Central Valley. This year we're going to have 3 folks from Google come down. Our theme this year is actually having a Spanish track, so we have a Spanish theme, which I think is awesome. We have a new director this year of the conference, and so his goal is to do an outreach into the Hispanic community. So one track will be just in Spanish, but we will have other tracks related to a lot of different topics. The schedule will be loaded soon, but if you just want to check out and save the date, it's October 20th at Bitwise Industries. It's an all-day event. We'll have tickets for sale soon, so I'll be chatting about this more in the coming weeks. But I just wanted to give you that heads up. Okay, so for our course for 82, like I said, we're moving into week 3. The content is already here. Hopefully you're getting used to this idea that the videos are here to help you with this chunk of content. And hopefully it seems like you're all getting it because you seem to be able to output what I'm looking for, right? The one thing I did want to say in addition here, and I believe I didn't cover it, is once you select your editor, it's important to understand how to view HTML files, right? So last week I had you set up your GitHub, and this week you're going to end up installing Git, and then you're going to clone your repos. And so I just want to show you, if you want to know before we get there. As an example, I have mine already cloned here, and if I wanted to look at this file rendered as HTML, there's a couple ways I could do it, because right now you're just looking at the code. If I wanted to look at the actual page, I could go to the URL that I set up, but because I'm working locally, I'm not going to see that change yet. And you'll get used to this in the coming weeks as we move in to learning about the GitHub workflow. But I just want you to do, and I'm going to go up to my menu and just off the screen a little bit, but view, and then the command palette. I'm going to show you, and I believe this is standard in VS Code now. It used to not be, but I think they've fixed it, is that you can use This keystroke, or you can just go into your view command palette and type open in a browser, or you can just click here, and what that does is it opens it in a browser. And that's helpful, especially like this week I have you do a little bit of old school coding. But if you have your editor already selected and you want to do it in the editor, I wouldn't know one way or the other, because you could just paste that code from your editor into your GitHub web interface. Again, we're moving away. This will be our last week. Week 3 of working in the web interface will end up working locally, like you see me doing here, right? So if I was to do, and that's the other thing, like if I do H2, I hit tab. It's a nicer way. I rock the world, right? So that's the other thing, is now I've saved this, and I also have on my editor file auto save setup, and that's great to have. And just a little bit of tips for kind of the coming days that you're going to see. And then I think if I have it still open, I could come over here and refresh, and then I would see those changes in the editor. Okay, or in the rendered code. Okay, so anyway, I have already previewed for you in this Thursday item what's coming in week 4. My hope is to actually get the first part of week 4 published today, and then maybe even both of them, depending on how the day goes for me. So coming back here, I hope you have a great week. I hope you're settling into understanding how this class works. Please reach out to me. I've noticed there is some activity on chat, which is great. That's what it's there for. But always remember, when you need help, if you can, don't struggle too long, because there's a point of diminished returns. And at that point, you get frustrated and you're like, it becomes something you don't want to do. And so there is a balance of working on something enough to where you spend enough time to understand the concept, but not so much time on it that you're not getting to be productive, so that you get frustrated. So you have to know for yourself where that balance line is. But if you're needing help, the point is make sure you come and get it when you need it. All right, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.